say now?
Hey there,
How are you?
Wednesday. I'm great. How are you?
It's not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
Welcome to 9 News Now on the pluses, the WAFB pluses. Thanks for being with us, appreciate it. So yeah, a lot to get to. Actually, there's a lot of education stuff to get to today.
Yeah.
We'll do that here in a quick minute, but obviously what a lot of folks are still talking about is something that happened yesterday, what it means for today and going forward. The Derek Chauvin trial, obviously coming to a conclusion, still sentencing to be handed out, but that is still a conversation, a very big one in the country.
If you happen to miss it yesterday evening, early evening, the jury there in Minneapolis found Derek Chauvin, former Minneapolis police officer, guilty on all 3 charges in the death of George Floyd. So we are seeing a lot of that play out, a lot of family members reacting to that overnight into the early morning hours. So CBS may cut in with the special report at some point today, so just be aware if that does happen.
All that going on as a shooting in Ohio happens, an officer involved shooting there, shooting a 16-year-old, 15-year-old?
Yes. Family says 15, we're seeing 15,
exactly.
16.
A teenage girl. Now, the difference here is police released very quickly the body cam footage from this, which is actually, it goes against some, like their protocol. Very quickly put it out there for the public to see, even as graphic as it is, wanting to get out there in front of this situation because from first blush, for a lot of folks it may seem very different from obviously the George Floyd case, but all that's still going on, so these conversations are heavy. Yeah,
this is in Columbus, Ohio. The case is Ma'Khia Bryant's case there. And again, this just happened yesterday. Yeah. So we'll see what details come out of that situation, I'm sure, in the hours to come.
Big conversations. Here as well, we just got notified by Lafourche Parish Coroner's Office confirming now a 6th body found from that lift boat disaster in the Gulf of Mexico.
You see his picture here, Keenan Petrie, 6th body. Now 7 crew members still missing there, and this is all coming as the U.S. Coast Guard suspended their search, again, the government side of things, but Seacorp Power, they have hired some private contracted divers to go out there and continue to search the vessel. So again, the 6th member being identified right now in the search in the Gulf Coast.
The first funeral for a victim of the Sea Corps actually happening today. It's the captain.
Mr. David Leday.
Yeah, it's happening down in Thibodeau, and there's going to be obviously more to come, but you start to get that finality for these families, and truly, you see the impact. It's tough, but again, that first funeral today.
It's hard to stomach all of this, especially when we come up on the 11th anniversary of
just
the Deepwater Horizon disaster. A lot of families still playing out what happened 11 years ago in the Gulf of Mexico.
You never forget that.
No.
You never forget. I mean, I was
you and
on
Steve
set.
were talking about
Steve
that,
went down
working
to stories
that.
on it. So it was 11 years ago yesterday that the explosion happened, and a loss of life, 11 lives lost there, and it was 11 years ago tomorrow that we found out it's not just a disaster, when it comes to families and lives lost.
And deaths.
This may be a disaster when it comes to our climate, and that's when they discovered the oil leak. And this is the leak that would not be capped until September. I remember coming into work every single morning, and they eventually got cameras down there to take a look at it and try to cap it. And every single morning,
that as a
exactly,
kid.
you're looking at it, still gushing, hundreds of thousands of gallons of oil into the Gulf, and that led to obviously the largest disaster of its kind in American history.
Yeah, you don't really think about the wildlife out there, but the people who responded to that crisis to try to cap that oil rig, and you talk about the chemicals and the lawsuits and everything that came out as a result of that, that's still playing out in courts right now.
All those dispersants.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So again, that's as the Sea Corps incident begins to be investigated. We're not even done with the search. 11 years since Deepwater Horizon.
It's a lot.
A lot of things playing out in the Gulf, right in the backyard here of Louisiana. We talked about education.
Yes.
We mentioned education right off the top because there's a lot going on. In fact, should be going on right now. The Bessie board meeting at like 9 o'clock this morning. And so when you're talking Bessie, you're talking about the entire state of Louisiana. They're talking about what schools, public schools, should look like beginning next school year.
In the age of COVID, right? So this year was kind of like the test rollout because last school year, the 2019-2020 school year, abruptly ended when the pandemic really hit. Yeah. And so you're talking about the last few months of school that were just kind of canceled, and then you enter a school year that's some are virtual, some are in person, some are a hybrid of both, some are becoming a hybrid. Everywhere. So Bessie now has to decide what is the best plan moving forward for Louisiana's children in every grade level, statewide.
Yeah.
That's a lot of different factors to consider here.
Yeah, that is gigantic.
Yeah.
So K through 12, a big conversation coming with Bessie today. A lot of eyes on it, a lot of ears on it. We'll let you know what comes out of it. But it may just be, they've already had these beginning discussions. This is the next one. They may be advancing some ideas. The end game may not be today, final decisions. But again, when Bessie starts talking about what school's going to look like, we kind of pay attention.
Vaccines are going to play a big role in that conversation,
Huge.
whether they will be required or not. But again, a lot of parishes in our viewing area are coming out saying that is a parish by parish decision.
It is, and that's the way that most of them have gone. Speaking of parishes,
Yeah.
there's a big meeting set to happen tomorrow in East Baton Rouge, but today they
Yes.
want parents to do something.
We've been talking about this for quite a while now, the Smart Start Plan.
That's the one.
EBR had a school board meeting last week that was 8.5 hours long.
Yeah.
And that's because you had teachers sounding off. You had about 200 people show up outside before the school board meeting started
I'll tell you.
to sound off and say, hey, we're not okay, we're not happy about
Yeah.
this. And again, that's just a percentage of the teachers
Yeah.
who showed up. That's not all of them.
No.
That's just people who are against the Smart Start Plan of starting school on July 28th this coming year. So they want more input on this before they go to the meeting tomorrow. So there's actually a survey that Matt has taken that
Oh, yeah.
you can take. It's really, it's free. It's easy to take.
Obviously, yeah, and it took me about 60 seconds, and said it this morning, and I think I took my time with it. There's only 5 or 6 questions on there. The July 28th start date is not even on there anymore. There's a couple other options, August 9th, which would have been the original, or August 11th.
Yeah.
They want to know how you feel about teachers maybe coming back a little bit sooner to kind of get the ball rolling.
Right.
They want to know about potential half days. Should they even have these half days before term end, before the break, or should we just do away with these half days and get our minutes in, right? Because you got to get a required number of minutes per school year. They want to know how you feel about having Monday off after Easter break.
Yeah.
Is that really necessary? Anyway, it's really easy. It's really simple. Like I said, 60 seconds, but the deadline is 2 p.m. today. Make sure your voice is heard.
If you know a parent of an EBR student, if you are interested or you're a community member who wants to weigh on it,
Yeah.
this is the link. We have got the survey in there
Yeah.
for you. And again, 2 p.m. today.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Something else going on today when
Yeah.
we talk about education, moving up the ladder here to higher education, LSU
Yes.
making an announcement. Well, you had somebody within LSU make an announcement, and that spurs what's going to be happening today, the search for a president.
We've been calling Tom Galligan the interim president of LSU,
Right.
and obviously this has been a long time search, but the efforts are going to really start ramping up here. But Tom Galligan saying he is withdrawing from the race to become the permanent president of the LSU system, saying, family reasons, it's been a
Yeah.
long year.
Yeah.
And he wants to be a family. Can you blame him?
Oh gosh, no.
Yeah.
And it's such a demanding
Yes.
job. We were talking about it earlier. You got to be all in on that, and everybody wants you and needs you for something, and so pulled in a multitude of directions. I thought he's been, from my personal perspective, I think he's been very out front in a lot of these things. Obviously, some very difficult conversations going on. He's
Truly.
always been fairly accessible, which is not always the case when it gets to the higher levels of these kinds of universities.
Yeah.
But again, doesn't want to be the permanent, so now the search begins.
That's it. Withdrawing his name from the race to become LSU's permanent president.
We'll see what the search committee, again, they're just beginning. The search committee to find a new president, that's 3 o'clock this afternoon. We'll see what comes out of it, but again,
Yes.
just the beginning part
So
of this.
again, lots of talks about
Yeah.
education
Yeah.
from the
Lot of it.
youngest to the very oldest.
A lot of it. From LSU to Southern, let's do this real quick. Southern,
Yes.
A big announcement. Look, man, I got this push alert from the crew here at WAFB yesterday, and I had to look at it a few times.
Yeah. Very hard to believe, but Southern's head football coach, Dawson Odom, saying it is time to move on.
Yeah.
So he is going to Norfolk State University
Virginia.
in Virginia, another HBCU school, but a different conference to accept their head
MEAC.
coaching position there. And so he's actually from the East Coast. He's from North Carolina.
right.
So Roman Banks, the athletic director, was saying that this is a personal decision.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of folks who were like, wait a minute, time out. It's a smaller school.
Right.
You're leaving the premier HBCU conference
Yeah.
in the SWAC. What's going on? Was this a money thing? Was it? Roman Banks is very clear.
He
about
came
it.
out and
this
said
was
no.
not a dollar and cents thing.
Right.
This just came down to a personal decision for Coach Odoms and his family.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's from more of that part of the world, it's where he went to school, where his coaching career started out there in North Carolina. So it is a little bit closer. But how do you feel bad about a guy and moving with his family, doing what's
Yeah.
best for him, especially after the career he's had at Southern University, a SWAC title, 4 West titles as well,
Whew.
and he did it all.
Yeah.
in dealing with some incredible hurdles over there.
Yeah,
So,
and you were telling me about that this morning, and I think another point that Roman Banks touched on is he did it essentially scandal-free. I mean,
Oh,
he
yeah,
was there for
right.
the kids and really
Yes.
made that a point to focus on his athletes and make sure it was a program that made it worthy of
Yeah.
them being there.
Yeah.
And so he invested in those kids, he invested in the program, so we just want to say thank you to Coach Odoms and good luck to you.
he was always one of those ones who loved the conversation.
Yeah.
And you ever
He's
called
just
him
so
up.
fun.
He was.
Yeah.
He is. And so Norfolk State getting
Yeah.
a heck of a coach. They already know that. That's why they're hiring him. But
Yes.
also in the world of sports, LSU baseball with a win yesterday, 5-0 shutout. But that's ULM.
Yeah.
And nothing against ULM.
Yeah.
But we know what the
It's
weekends are
different.
for LSU baseball. The weekends are SEC play, and this
Yeah.
weekend actually starts tomorrow. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series on the road in Oxford, taking on 12th-ranked Ole Miss.
Can they do it? That is
I-
the million-dollar question. It's
I don't know.
tough.
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
been a very rough ride for the Tigers, but we'll see. But coming off a win yesterday,
Okay.
they get started early tomorrow.
Well, fingers crossed then.
Fingers,
Send them
fingers.
some good juju.
all the fingers
All
crossed.
the fingers and toes.
Crossing the fingers for some good weather, and
Woo.
actually today
Mm-hmm.
and tomorrow, and even early Friday, I think we'll have it.
Let's start with yesterday. Yesterday was some great weather. If you took out a walk, maybe you went and picked up the mail, you
Right.
may have noticed how nice it was around here.
How big a walk you taking to get your mail?
Well, it's a lengthy walk.
Want a story?
Yes,
Okay, story.
always.
Story time.
Come on.
Matt Williams, Dumas, story time.
Okay.
So when I'm a kid, my grandparents live in New Orleans.
Okay.
And my parents love telling this story. You'll probably hate it and just don't go anywhere. My grandparents live in New Orleans.
Okay.
And kind of the Claiborne Carrollton area, by Notre Dame Seminary for those who are familiar. And so my grandfather, I must have been maybe 4 or 5 at the time. My grandfather says, I'm going to go out and get the paper. Well, where I came from in Texas, when I was living in Cypress, Texas at the time, the paper was thrown right onto the front lawn.
Okay.
I was, subdivision, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. And so I told him, well, no, I can go get it. I just thought it was out in the front lawn.
Yeah.
He goes, no, I got it. It's over here. I got to go down here, down to the block, to the block. And apparently I said, I don't remember because I'm 4 years old, well, why did they throw it so far?
Bless.
And so my parents love to tell that story. Everywhere and every opportunity. I think I told that at my wedding.
I'm sure that was a very vivid memory in their head, too,
Why
and they
did
loved
throw it
taking
so
it.
far?
Oh.
So, yeah, why'd you have to walk so
Sweet
far
little
for your
Matt.
mail?
Well, because they threw it far.
There you go.
That's
the
the
right
answer. That's the answer from here on out.
It is a nice
I
story.
love that. That's actually really
Isn't
cute.
this
Yeah.
ridiculous? Why did they throw it so far?
I'm
the
just
mind of a
picturing
child.
it in my head, yeah.
Which I still have, the mind of a
Oh,
child.
I love it. I
but
love it.
Yeah, so you're right. Perfect day for a walk.
Yes.
Another one today, another one tomorrow.
Yes, enjoy every bit of that male walking weather while you can, because Friday and Saturday is looking a little hairy. This was 70% yesterday. It's already jumped up 80%. Saturday is still looking like it's 70% rain. Now the key here is that, sure, we deal with rain all the time.
Yeah, sure.
How is it going to affect our flood levels? How is it going to affect
Right.
our severe weather potential? All of the things that our First Alert Weather team are watching out for right now.
And that was one of the good things when Steve was talking about to us about this this morning, and has been for the last couple of days. First of all, this Friday event does not seem to be an AM event. Morning drive should be good. We get the
Thankfully.
kids off to school should be good.
Yeah.
It's more of an afternoon thing. And he's also saying that this system
Yeah.
appears to be moving through pretty quick. Probably will
Fingers
not really
crossed.
impact the flood levels at all as we continue to go down. It really is going to be about that severe weather impact, where those storms line up, what they
Right.
bring with them, potential hail, strong winds. But yeah, that's really the Friday afternoon into Saturday morning.
We'll see. We'll see. Just keep your eye on it. Make sure you have the WAFB weather app.
Yeah, that's easy.
Really key, because every day they're sending out multiple updates on where things are at, what it's looking like. Because remember, it's a forecast. Forecast can change.
Forecast.
Please remember
It's
that.
not a precast.
No.
Precast?
Or a postcast.
A postcast.
It is a forecast.
Postcast. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm talking about. WAFB Plus.
Do we all ever?
It's like you've seen
really?
the show. Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, up on the YouTubes right now
Yes.
as well. Trying to make this work
Yes.
in many places.
Trying to make it easy to deliver to you what you need to know
Right.
for the day, what you want to know for the day.
Right.
And we are open to feedback.
I
So
love
if you
it.
think we're not talking about something, well, tell us.
Love to talk
on
about
the
it.
YouTube, there's a comment section. Tell us.
And actually tomorrow on the
Yeah.
YouTubes we'll be doing a little therapy Thursday.
Yes.
And again, it's whatever you want to talk about. We'll take those comments, and,
Yeah.
and sometimes the conversations will be dicey.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not.
Or
It's just kind
getting
of stepping
real
through the
with
day.
it, yeah.
Absolutely. That happens right after we do 9 News Now. Kind of
Right.
sign off on WAP Plus and continue on
Mm-hmm.
the YouTubes. But a little therapy Thursday. So if you got some topics and questions in mind, keep them
Yes.
and let us know tomorrow.
Share
We'll
'em.
remind you right here as well. But we got some more stuff coming up on the Plus today.
Looking forward to Jacques Talk at 1 p.m. today. You can join him here, always talking about some exclusive great stories that you wouldn't get to hear otherwise on the Mothership, because these stories take time to tell.
They do.
From developing them,
Yeah.
for you to get to know who he's talking to, and that's from everyone that he's spoken with. So looking forward to seeing who he's talking to
And
today. Wow.
his stories,
Yeah.
when they're allowed to breathe,
It's not forced.
exactly. There's just so much more you get there. It's all the minutia, the details that come in and really spell it out.
Yeah.
It's great. Anyway, Jacques Talk coming up at 1 o'clock, and of course you're getting ready for Kylie.
Round out the
who's in a
weekend. Yeah.
All sorts of the fun, huh?
Lots of it.
Woohoo, WAP Plus. So this is where you can find us, WAP.com, the 9 News app, and
Yes.
of course, the mothership continues, the big studio down the way.
Big studio on the way at 12. All
Noon.
the big headlines for today, the
Yeah.
look ahead, all the check-ins that we talked about that we're
Yeah,
doing.
yeah.
That'll be then.
Should we do this again tomorrow?
I think we should. This is fun.
This is kind of crazy. This is
Yeah.
great. Do you think it's fun? You tired of us
I
already?
hope so.
Turning off the TV?
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So-
aren't we? Aren't we all? I say sorry every morning at 4:30. That's how I start.
And you still get a following.
Good morning,
So I
and
think they
we're
appreciate
sorry.
that. Just a little slice of humble pie to start the day.
Now I'm hungry. All right, enjoy your day. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Bye, all.
Bye.